Hello, my name is Taylor Nash. Welcome to my instructional technology presentation video. If you're a new teacher, you're probably excited and nervous and overwhelmed by your new jobs and responsibility as a teacher. It can be challenging and exhausting trying to manage your classroom and your curriculum. Well, don't worry. I've created tips and tricks for first-year teachers to help you along the way. Tip number 1 is a safe learning environment. Create a classroom that's full of color and engagement for learning. Use color patterns, animals, book character themes to spark creativity and engagement in your classroom. Fill your classroom with sensory toys, soft seating, a quiet space to read and reflect. I think it's very important for students to have a spot where they can go and just collect themselves from a stressful situation or when they're frustrated with schoolwork. I feel that it is very important for classrooms to have a classroom library where students can have books within arm's reach, where they can just grab a book and curl up in a spot where they're comfortable and practice on their comprehension or their fluency and just engage in the world of reading. I also think it's very important for students to have a specific spot, an area to play. I feel like students while they play, students learn a lot. They work on their fine motor skills, their gross motor skills, and their communication skills as well. It just leads into their imagination, and it gives teachers an opportunity to watch and observe what students know and what they're learning inside and outside of the classroom. Tip number 2 is classroom management. Create a classroom contract with routines and strategies. I feel that it is very important for teachers to explain to their students why we have classroom management routines and procedures in place, to explain to them why they're effective and why they're essential in the classroom. And when they understand why it's so important, then they will try to cooperate as best as they can. I also feel like it's important for us as teachers to incorporate their opinion as well, to ask and to gather their input, because it makes them feel like, important, an important member in the classroom. When going over classroom management routines, skills, procedures, strategies, start from the very beginning. Day 1, first day of school, jump right into it. How you want them to walk to the bathroom, how you want them to go to the lunchroom, walk in the hallways, go to the library, how you address teachers, how you respect each other in the classroom, how you respect your teacher, things they can and cannot do in your classroom. Go over technology skills and, their contract for using iPads and computers in your classroom. Also, don't forget to include techniques that encourage good behavior, reward coupons, classroom jobs, brain breaks, treasure box. I feel like encouraging good behavior in the classroom is one of the best things a teacher can do, because it gives students goals to attain to, something that they can reach for, something they can be better at, and anyone in the classroom can do it. Any student can be better at being good and being a helpful student in the classroom and gaining a reward. It is something students have to earn to earn. So I think it's great at, helping them reach goals and be better as a student and as a growing person in the community as well. Tip number 3 is organization. Organization is essential. Having containers, filing bins, storage dividers, any material that's great for storing and sorting, paperworks and lessons. It is a great idea to have a box for each month and put all of your materials in that specific box. Your papers, your cutouts, your resources, materials, anything that leads up to what you're going to use for that specific month, like your themes, I would put that all in a box and then pull it out whenever you're ready to use them again, and that keeps them organized in specific spots. They're labeled. It just saves you time and effort, and it's just right there in front of you to have. It's great for teachers to use planners, calendars, journals, plan lessons ahead, prepare all of your materials accordingly, use the box idea. It is also great to label everything in your classroom: chairs, tables, sink. This helps students learn how to spell new words. It also helps your ELL students when they're learning English and learning, practicing learning English in your classroom. It also works for when students share tables to have their names on each specific thing. So a student has their box, it has their name on it. Those materials stay in that box and go back into your box. That way there is no time for fighting, no time for "that's mine," arguing between students, and it's quick. You can just tell them to grab it, get it out, put it back, and it's just like that. And another great idea is to use plastic bins to store books in your library and dividers to hold your centers for students to just go grab what they need and to leave, to go back to their spots. I like this saying. It says, "An organized classroom and organized thoughts." And I feel like that's great for the students and for the teachers as well. Number 4 is the good morning and goodbye routines. It says to create an individual good morning and goodbye with each student. This creates a comfort and a bond between the teacher and the student. It starts their morning with love and it ends their day with love. This is my favorite portion of my presentation because it gives the students just that extra one-on-one time with the teacher, that individualized attention that students might not get at home with their parents. And I feel like it's very important for students to know how much you love them, from the very beginning. So either creating a handshake, creating a high five, creating a "see you later, alligator," after a while, crocodile, a hug, anything that is specific and is important to them and to you, I feel like is a great way to start your day off and to end your day as well with your kids. An activity. This is an activity that you can use in your classroom for the first day of school, at the end of the day, or any day during the first week of school is what I would do. It's called "Let's Make a Handshake," and it's turn to your neighbor and create a handshake that you would like to do with your teacher. You have 3 minutes. So that means that each student can come up with a handshake they want to do with the teacher, and then periodically throughout the week they can learn it together, and anything that they want to do, or in that amount of time, however you want to do it that meets your needs and meets your students' needs. But it just helps you create a little fun activity to do with your kids in the morning and then in the afternoons as well. Tip number 5 is very important. It's making parent connections. Make the effort to make a good impression with the students' parents, and it will last. Get to know the parents as well as you would the students. Get to know the single mom. Get to know the happy couple. Get to know the grandparents. Get to know the people that are raising your kids in your classroom. Get to know their life and what goes behind closed doors and when they leave your classroom, because that's where it matters the most. That's when you're doing the best you can within your classroom, but don't forget to go out and try to make a difference in their lives at home as well. Get to know them, what's going on, be aware of their surroundings as well. Attempt to build a partnership with parents. Communicate through the good and the bad. That means go to the wedding, and sometimes that also means going to the funeral as well. Being there for your kids is hard, and just knowing that they have someone there that loves them, from school, and just like having a strong bond, someone that you're connected to there, taking care of you, being there for you, is very helpful to students as well. Be reliable and accessible when parents need you. Parents need and want to build a trust and a relationship with teachers as well. So don't forget that you are a strong part of your students' lives, and to always be there when you can. Number 6 is positivity. Attitude is everything in the world of teaching. Students reflect everything you do. Be encouraging and uplifting, and when you come into the classroom and you're happy and you're excited and you're ready to learn, then your students are going to reflect that back. When you're sour and gloomy and you're having a bad day and you kind of have an attitude walking into the classroom, your students are going to sense that negativity and they're going to give it right back to you. When you pour positivity and kindness into the classroom, it will pour right back out into the world. Number 7 is be a lifelong learner. There will always be something new to learn. Set goals each day, month, or year. Always explore and find new ways to be innovative. Never stop learning. As teachers, we have the world of learning at our fingertips. There are books. There are endless technologies, workshops, ways that we can learn every single day to keep being updated in the world of education. So use this to your advantage and keep learning. Techie tips. Create a technology lab in the corner of your classroom to stay organized. Create a technology contract consisting of rules in your lab. This is for when your students can go into your lab and sign a sheet saying which iPad they got, saying which computer they use, Chromebook, and they have to sign it, write their number down. And this holds the students responsible for taking care of that device. So I think this is a really good idea to keep up for your students to learn how to be responsible in the classroom and using how to respect the classroom technology and other people's materials. Another techie tip is to use the Remind app. You can find it on Apple. Any Apple iPad or iPhone. It's a great way to stay in touch with parents. It sends them reminds about important school events like field trips or festivals or anything without having to use your personal phone number. This is for our scholarly article. It's challenges in the first year of teaching, lessons learned in an elementary school resident teacher program. It's the 5 challenges teachers face every day. Number 1 is classroom management. Number 2 is working with parents and families. Number 3 is differentiating instruction. Number 4 is students with difficult behavior. And number 5 is assessment. And I feel like as teachers, a lot of these problems have to do with teachers making the classroom a teacher-centered classroom and not necessarily a student-centered classroom. So I feel like we need to change this and make it more of a student-centered classroom instead of a teacher-centered classroom. And that is where we will learn how to, meet the differentiation and work with parents and families. We have to stop making it about teachers and more about students. Another article that I read is challenges for new teachers and ways of coping with them. It's stating that the first year of a teacher's career can determine on how long they stay. It's basically how teachers are prepared and unprepared for their new roles as teachers, because it comes with a lot of responsibility. People without support, they tend to feel unprepared. They don't feel like they can handle behavioral and academic issues among their students. When you're a teacher, you set aside all of your problems and you focus on your children in your classroom. It is not about you as a teacher. It is about your students in the classroom. And again, it goes back to teachers being a teacher-centered classroom and not a student-centered classroom. Thank you for watching. Here's a list of sites and sources that I used on this presentation. I love Proud to be Primary, Harry Wong, he is amazing, Around the Campfire. Here are a list of my scholarly articles you can just use by using your phone on a Crafter app. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.